You're very welcome to the press conference this afternoon. I'm the Proinsias De Rossa, my name, Chair, President of the European Parliament Delegation to the Palestinian Legislative Council, and Kyriakos Triantafylides, I think I've got your name right, is the Vice Chair. And we have just returned from a visit to the Palestinian territories. There were 8 members of our delegation present. Unfortunately, halfway through, the permission we already had to visit Gaza was rescinded. The reason given was security concerns. Nevertheless, we were informed that the day that we were banned from going into Gaza, the Dutch government's representative was allowed into Gaza, and one presumes the same, if not even more stringent security concerns would apply to a government representative. We are seriously concerned about this interference in the role of this Parliament and our obligations to maintain our relations with the democratically elected representatives of the Palestinian Legislative Council. This is an unwarranted interference in the democratic process, in our view, and we have asked the President of the Parliament here to take this matter up with the Israeli government, and he has done so. He has written to the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Netanyahu, raising his concerns about this interference. The visit itself, insofar as we pursued our agenda, obviously our primary meetings were with the PLC, the members of the PLC, which we met in Ramallah and we met in Hebron. We met the Speaker of the PLC, Dr. Aziz Dwight, who, as it happens, is a member of Hamas. We also met Mr. Salem Fayyad, the Prime Minister of the Palestinian Authority, and we met the Deputy Speaker of the PLC in Ramallah, along with a number of members of the PLC who were largely Fatah members, but there was at least one other political party represented there. But Hamas was not represented at that meeting. Our primary mission was to look at the humanitarian circumstances of the people, in particular in Gaza, but also in East Jerusalem, because of the evictions that are taking place there, and to also in the Gaza area to look at the effectiveness of EU funding and expenditure. The other concern we had was, in meeting members of the PLC, was to insist on them the need for reconciliation between the various political factions. Our view is, I know it's the strong view of my delegation and indeed of the Parliament, that it is extremely difficult to make political progress in negotiations regarding a two-state solution without reconciliation, without unity of purpose. We made it clear we were not arguing that there had to be a unity of political view. Clearly, the political factions amongst the Palestinian people are as varied as you would find in Europe in terms of their approach to democratic politics and policy making. But in order to achieve a coherent negotiating position, it seemed to us that we needed to press this point on all of them, and we did so, particularly with the Speaker of the PLC, Dr. Aziz Dwight. The Speaker, Dr. Dwight, made it absolutely clear that, as far as he was concerned, and as far as he was concerned, Hamas were committed to a pluralist democracy in a Palestinian state based on the 1967 borders. Now, I don't know whether we would have got the same view from the Hamas people we would have met in Gaza, but we certainly would have made the same strong case as we have made before when we visited Gaza just last February. We received a briefing from the EU officials on the night we arrived in Bethlehem, particularly ECHO, the European Humanitarian Aid Desk, who told us that the humanitarian situation in Gaza is no better than it was 8 to 11 months ago, immediately after the bombing and invasion of that area. We also, as I say, we had a meeting with the Prime Minister Salam Fayyad. As it happened, we met him within about an hour of the European Council having published its statement reaffirming the European Union position for a two-state solution with the Jerusalem capital, and indeed reaffirming its desire that there would be negotiations, and the urging the quartet to engage more directly in the process. I have to say that, and my colleagues here, I'm sure, will confirm when they speak, that the Prime Minister very emphatically welcomed the EU statement. He made it clear that this was a hopeful sign, and it was the first piece of hope we came across in our visit. Up to then, we met nothing but despondency and despair, and certainly amongst those who are at the cutting edge of the activities of the Israeli settlers, both in Hebron and in East Jerusalem.